All right, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for watching. I'd just like to say I recently went over 1,800 subscribers, so I haven't said it in a while, and I don't say it enough, but thanks to everybody out there for watching the videos and giving me words of encouragement and constructive criticism and everything else to help me get through and get Dorothy on the road back to her as original condition as I can make her. So we'll see if we can get this paint job fixed, get some windscreen stuff done, see what we get done in this video. Thanks for watching. Got the paint tent down, and I'm not done painting yet. Far from it, actually. I'll show you here why I've done that. I'm gonna take a little break from painting. It's not going the way that I need it to go. I don't know how well you can see all the dry spots on the boot lid there, on the door, all the texture and everything. So it's just not working out for me. The windscreen frame, however, came out beautifully. So I don't know what's going on there. I think that some of it has to do with the fact that these are laying down, and it's trickier to apply an even overlap and everything else, whatever you want to call it, when you're straight up and down, even though obviously it can be done. I think the other thing is that, and I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll probably say it 20 more times, you'd think a 48-year-old guy would have figured this stuff out, but I'm in too much of a hurry, and I had the booth too tight, trying to paint too many pieces at the same time. And while it was okay from a management standpoint or of the paint, it was not from me being able to adequately get to everything and move around relatively freely inside the booth and get to everything adequately. So I'm going to reassess a little bit. The windscreen is like I said, is good to go. I do like the looks of that, and I'm going to see if I can block out the boot lid here and that door. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do that, but I'll have to reassess and reapproach. I'm not going to touch the bonnet or the front balance or anything like that. I'm going to move on to getting the windscreen into the windscreen frame, getting the vinyl back on there, and going down that path, and a couple other things. And I'm not going to be looking at painting here until after the new year. This is one of the brackets that the windshield mounts in, the windscreen frame, I should say. It's got 3 attachment points, 2 captive nuts here, and then there's a captive nut on the inside of the car. And obviously that's oblong, so you can get some adjustment wiggle room. And then you've got a gasket that goes in between there. Several bolts. I got all new hardware. So there's obviously 2 bolts that go here. They're 1.25 inches each, and then you got one short one that's 1 inch. So I've got all that stuff ready to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and mount that up. Pretty extreme close-up here. So I don't intend on, where am I? There I am. Whoa. There I am. I don't intend on painting this bracket because it's up underneath the dash. And originally they were not painted unless they got some overspray on them. So I'm just going to leave it in epoxy. But it's pretty easily mounts. They are handed. So put the paper gasket on there and just get it in there. Not too much to it. Now the reason I chose to use new hardware was because these were originally painted body color, and I really wish I could go back in time and go to the Triumph factory and watch them put these cars together, because some of this stuff, like the bonnet hardware, all that stuff was painted. Windscreen, and I don't understand how they, unless they put the windshield in last and all that stuff, I guess that's the way they would have done it. Must have painted the car with everything attached except for stuff that you didn't want to overspray. Like, I don't know how they got the doors done, all that kind of stuff, without painting that stuff over. All right, so that just sits in there and it floats. Obviously it's adjustable, so I don't want to go tighten it down too much because I do have to get the windscreen in there. And I'll get stuff kind of snug. Do the other side real quick and then show you the windscreen. So this portion of the windscreen here is what fits down into that hole. So that'll fit down into that hole, obviously at an angle, and goes down into the bracket, and then you can adjust the bracket and however you need to do that. And then there's a nylock nut and a washer that go on that, and then that goes in and pinches and tightens up against the bracket, and that's what holds the windscreen in. So not a whole lot to it, not very complicated. So now I'm going to set up a little spot over here, get this place cleaned up, bring the windscreen down, and start looking at getting the vinyl on it, see if I can do that, and if that's something I can get done now. Windscreen frame here. Got to put the vinyl back on it. I was hoping to, or I was looking at maybe putting the vinyl that I bought to do the crash pads and everything, the knee pads that are in the interior, put that on here. And it's just not, I think it's going to be more trouble than it's going to be worth, and it's just not going to come out that well. So I did save all the old stuff. This is the bottom strip here that goes in. It's got a lot of cracks and everything. It's not in great shape, but I still think it's going to be better of an option than trying to do and cut the vinyl properly, especially with the curves and it's all form fitted and everything like that. I'd rather take my chance and do this. And then if this doesn't work or I totally destroy it, then obviously I can try again. The problem is that it's pretty stiff and pretty brittle, and there's a fine line that I'm worried about between putting too much heat on or not enough heat and then causing more damage to it or what have you. There is a couple spots like here where it's cracked pretty good, if you can see that. So I'm going to spray some adhesive on here, kind of give it a shot and see if I can get it to work. Alright, well that didn't go too bad. Just working the heat and melting it a little bit more than I thought I would actually. So now I'll do the top section and then the sides go on last. And these are pretty tight here because they come all the way around, so I'll have to use a careful but good amount of heat on that. So again, this is the top piece. This actually is not in bad shape at all. This will be relatively easy to put in. Alright, well, that didn't come out too bad. It's, you know, it's old, obviously. This is the only spot right here, and I don't know if that's just shrinkage or I didn't pull hard enough to kind of pull it out and everything, but I think that'll, I mean, you'll be able to see that little spot probably if you really look. I think, I don't know. The rubber comes down for the windscreen comes down pretty far. You may not even be able to see that. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. But now I've got to just get it cleaned up. I've got solvent-based wax and grease remover. I want to make sure that that's not going to discolor the vinyl like I had the problem a while ago when I was trying to redo the crash pads and try to get the extra adhesive off and ended up bleaching the vinyl. So I don't want to use paint thinner or anything like that. The water-based wax and grease remover I don't think gets the adhesive off. I'm going to try that too just in case, but obviously I can't have adhesive all over the place, all the overspray and everything. So hopefully I'll be able to get that cleaned up, and then their windscreen will be ready for the next stage. I got to get the top cap off. Now I do have the black car's windscreen, and I forgot about the top part here. I'll show you what I got. There's that damn boot lid. This is not in too bad a shape. It's a little beat up, but not terrible. I want to check out the black cars just to see. Well, you really couldn't see that at all, could you? It's in pretty good shape. I want to check out the black cars just to see what kind of shape that's in. It may not be worth taking that off. This is it's a little scratched up. It is aluminum. You can get them still, but they're not real cheap. And frankly, I don't really mind. So maybe I'll just take a buffing wheel to it, or some cutting compound, maybe even my buffer, and see if I can get it cleaned up. These are the vent covers that go on top of the dash covering, which I'm kind of working on a little bit right now. I've already got them in 3 coats of the VHT, if I'm getting that in the camera right, the VHT Wrinkle Plus stuff. So now I'm going to take the heat gun and try to bring the wrinkle out. All right, starting to wrinkle up on the cardboard. All right, there we go. Good wrinkle coat. Love this stuff. All right, well, the boot lid, I'm not buffing it. I'm just going to leave it aside for now, but now I'm going to get busy on this door here. Not going to bore you with blocking it out. Same process. 1,000 by hand, 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, and then the 3,000 by the machine, the DA sander. So we'll see if I get lucky. I think we're right about the same spot that I am on the boot lid. So this is following 3,000 grit. Came up at about the same shininess that I'm used to seeing. It gets a little tricky when the roll comes in, just to make sure that I'm getting all that. So I didn't burn through anywhere, which is nice, as opposed to the other door. So that's good. And I'm hopeful that I'll be able to recover from this. So I think now I've got still got some time over here. I'm going to go ahead and take the buffer to it and see if I can get this thing buffed out. Kind of got the windscreen placed a little bit with the dash. The dash, as I showed you before, has got quite a bit of extra vinyl that you would hope that it has, just to make it easier to fit. I'm concerned that I don't want to glue it in the wrong spot or anything like that. The problem I'm having right now is the windscreen's not going in real easily, and I just, especially over here, it's getting hung up somewhere. So I want to get it back out and play with it a little bit, see if this clamp that's in here has got something that's holding it up, or if it's just that much of a pain in the rear to get out. I remember it not being real easy. Anyway, so I'm going to hold off on moving any further, I think, with this today, and focus on the doors. Pretty happy with that. Still some, I don't know if it's scratches or if it's the haze from the polishing compound or what, but it's the bottom is a little bit better, though it's not quite easy to see. It's not perfect, but it's definitely going to be saved, or at least it's going to get good enough to where I'm happy with it. So that's 2 rounds of the buffing compound with the heavier cutting thing. I haven't gone to the polish side of it yet. So what I'm going to do now not today, but what the next phase is going to be to start putting the door together, which is going to be interesting and challenging because there's definitely there's clips, the waist clips, whatever they're called, I don't remember, but the window things that go in there are supposedly just an absolute bear to get in. So we're going to see how that goes on the next time. All right, everybody, that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment below, tell me what you think. Again, thanks everybody for the milestone of 1,800 subscribers. And hopefully I can keep the videos coming and keep you guys watching them. Hopefully the paint job is beyond us now, the doors and the boot lid. I can move on to other things and start to look at concentrating on getting the bonnet done, which will be the last big piece of painting that I need to do. A bunch of other little things to take care of, like the hinges and things like that, but otherwise the painting light at the end of the tunnel is starting to get a little less, a little bit more bright. So thanks again. Have a good rest of your week. Cheers.